Hello, and welcome to the Queuing It Up podcast, where we talk all things Lexington that improve your quality of life. This podcast is presented and produced by the City of Lexington government. I'm your host, Johnny Taylor, the city manager for the City of Lexington in North Carolina. Some episodes of Queuing It Up include discussions with community leaders about what's happening in Lexington, while other episodes feature City of Lexington employees providing educational opportunities with valuable information about city services. Thanks for joining us, and let's get today's episode started. Hello, and welcome to Queuing It Up. I'm Johnny Taylor, the city manager of the City of Lexington in North Carolina. I have a special guest with me today, and his name is Travis Stewart. Travis Stewart is the executive director of Uptown Lexington, Inc. He graduated from Central Davidson High School and received his degree in recreation management from Appalachian State University in Boone, North Carolina. He spent about 12 years working for local municipalities, 8 of which were with the City of Lexington. He has worked in the Uptown District for the past 11 years, previously working for Habitat for Humanity and MyGeek Technologies. He also spent several years living in Uptown Lexington before moving to his great-great-grandpa's old homestead with Maggie, his yellow lab. His daughter Tori graduated from the UNC School of Dentistry before going on to be at the University of Michigan's dental school residency. Tori is now a full-time dentist in San Francisco with Travis's granddog, an Aussie doodle named Franklin. Travis has a daughter named Aiden, who is a freshman at Western Carolina University and studying to be a registered nurse. Welcome, Travis, to the Queuing It Up podcast.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. I really appreciate it, and I'm excited to be here. Thanks a lot.
Okay, well, we've got several questions we're going to go through today and talk a little bit about Uptown Lexington. So can you give us an overview of what Uptown Lexington is?
Sure. Uptown Lexington is a designated North Carolina Main Street program. We're a 501c3, and we've been tasked by the City of Lexington to administer the Main Street program for y'all. So we base it off of the Main Street America 4-point approach, which is organization, promotion, design, and economic vitality. So organization, we're trying to create a strong foundation for a revitalization effort here in town. Also, we want to cultivate the partnerships like we have with the City of Lexington, other nonprofits, people down at the depot. Promotion, we want to position Uptown to be the hub of where people want to come be. We don't necessarily have to put on every event that happens here, but we want people to feel comfortable that that's where they want to come do it. Design, enhancing the physical and visual assets, economic vitality. We want to focus on capital, investments, economic and financial tools to not only assist new businesses, but also the ones that we have here. For example, we have like a facade grant program, building improvement grant, we have streetscape, so all the things that you see around town to make it look better, that's what we have. And so we want to be the center for vitality, culture, and growth, where people, they're drawn together to be here, they want to live here, they want to connect here.
Mr. Stewart, you mentioned the Main Street program, and I know that there's some folks listening or watching that may not understand what that is. Can you talk about it a little bit?
Sure. So the North Carolina Main Street program is a revitalization effort, historic preservation being the center of that. So simply stated, it's economic vitality through historic preservation. So years ago when downtown, uptown areas were kind of struggling, they being legislatures, decided how do we make sure uptowns are thriving once again, make sure businesses are there. So they came up with this. Currently, there's 81 communities in North Carolina that are part of the Main Street program. And the department, they offer up technical assistance. They help us with economic development goals, plan the work, that sort of thing. Interestingly enough, the first director here, Liz Parham, is now the director of the state. So that's a pretty good thing for us to have that contact. When I'm sitting in trainings, I often see a lot of pictures of Lexington pop up that she has. So we are recognized as one of the oldest North Carolina programs in the state.
That's outstanding. As you're aware, we've got a lot of redevelopment taking place now in the Depot District. How do you see that impacting Uptown Lexington?
I love it. We're super excited about it. We feel like we already have a great relationship with the folks down there, talking about either Goose or Bull City, the new edition of Short Circuit. You got Tesh down there at Holland Brook. So we're already working with those people down there. So we feel like the more opportunity for people to come to visit, whether they coming in to see something in the Uptown District, or if they're going to the Depot, if there's people here, there's more opportunity for them to visit both places. The people don't care whether they're in the Depot District or the Uptown District. If it's good for us, it's good for Depot. If it's good for Depot, it's good for us as a town and an organization. So we're super excited about that.
I think that's a great way to approach it. Both of those particular areas have their identity.
Right.
And they will continue to have their identity. And so as both of those particular areas continue to progress, it's just a win for the entire city.
Yes, sir. We totally agree with that.
So there is a new logo, okay? And I'm not sure that many people know about this new logo, and that's about to debut. What brought on the rebranding? And what does the new logo mean to the organization?
Okay, so we have been a Main Street organization for 30 years, and we want to position ourselves to make sure that we're relevant for the next 30 years, that we're on track with what the city's doing, what the depot's doing, to make sure that we're a relevant economic factor in all these decisions. So we shopped around for a company. We found one that specializes in doing these types of rebranding projects for Main Street programs. We looked at new cutting edge ideas. We looked at old things. We looked at drawings. We looked at taglines. And finally, we settled on the pig. Everybody knows we're the Q capital. So it's easily identifiable, it's recognizable, and people love the pig. So we say, find it here, find it in Uptown Lexington. Whether you want to live here, you want to open a business here, you're just coming for the day, you're hanging out, whatever you need, you can find it right up in town, in our district, which I didn't mention earlier. Our municipal service district goes from 3rd Avenue to 3rd Street, over to State, down to Salisbury, and it also cuts down East Center Street down to Dawn's Bridal. So it's a large area.
Okay, well, that's awesome. I'm going to add something to something you said. You said the Q capital, and I always tell people that we are the Q capital of the planet. So it doesn't matter whether you go to Europe or anywhere else in the world, this is where it all begins.
That's right, 100%. We are the Q capital of the world.
Okay, outstanding. Now, I am aware that Uptown Lexington is responsible for several large events as well as a few parades. Can you tell us about some of them and how important they are to Uptown Lexington and to our city?
Sure. Well, one thing that you're well aware of, because I saw you last Thursday, was Boo Bash. And if nobody has ever attended that, they should come see it. Main Street transforms into Halloween Town USA. We had stilt walkers, we had a magic show, we had roving magicians, not to mention all the candy that was handed out by the merchants. We had a huge candy donation from a local company. We had an anonymous donors that were able to defray some of the costs to the merchants. So earlier I talked about promotion. This is a way to showcase our town for people who might not ordinarily come up here. So we want to show that, hey, Uptown Lexington is for everybody. Anybody who wants to be here, we want them here. So it showcases our town, shows what's available. Have a huge event coming up in November 24th, Christmas open house. It's always the Sunday before Thanksgiving, so that's an easy way to remember. So we do that to focus on getting people in the habit of spending local before Black Friday. So don't go to the big box stores, don't go to online, come here, shop in your local community, spend some dollars here that are actually having an impact on all of us and helping us all have better lives here in town.
That's great.
So we'll have, obviously Santa will be there to take pictures with the kids. We have train rides. They became so popular. We've got 2 trains this year. We have horse and carriage rides. We have carolers and vintage Victorian outfits. We'll do the Christmas tree lighting. Got a couple new things planned for that this year, so that'll be a good time here in Uptown Lexington, 1 to 6, November 24th. Now, you mentioned the parade. It's huge. December the 2nd at 6 o'clock here in town. It'll go basically from the high school and end on West 9th Avenue. And we opened up registration this year in July, and they've been coming in since then. Last year, I think we had 178 participants. It'll probably be a little bigger than that this year. And for the first time ever, we may have to think about capping it just because it's already a 2-hour parade. One of the things that's a little different about our parade is we're one of the few that have it at night. So the floats are lit up. It's usually kind of cold. It's just a neat atmosphere to get people, in the Christmas mood. And people say, well, why are you charging for this? Why can't I just come put my car in? Or why can't I have my community group in it? They can, but this is our biggest fundraiser of the year. So this event is what helps us do Christmas open house, what helps us to defray some of the costs for Boo Bass and for some of the other things that we do.
How can our listeners best support Uptown Lexington?
Well, there's a couple ways. First of all, they can just come uptown, take a visit, come visit a restaurant, go buy something in the store, walk around, see what's here to be offered. And if you're thinking about a business, we want you here. Call me, reach out to me. We just had a spot open up right on Main Street. I'd love to put somebody in there. But an easy way, get on our Facebook page, like our page, follow our page, check out our website, uptownlexington.com, get on Instagram. So that's a pretty easy way. And always, I can't end without saying we're always looking for volunteers. You cannot believe the amount of people that it takes to put on the parade at the staging area. I think last year we had the most that we probably ever had, and we probably had 20-something volunteers, and I could use double that. And so volunteers, and if there's any companies or individuals that would like to sponsor with some monetary donations, we'll take those as well.
Well, that's outstanding. I want to thank you, Travis, for taking the time to be here today. I also want to thank you for all the great work and your leadership with Uptown Lexington. I feel like that Uptown Lexington is definitely prepared, as you mentioned, for the next 30 years, and I think we're moving in a positive direction in our partnership together, the City of Lexington and Uptown Lexington. And the sky is real bright. Our future is very exciting. So thank you again. And for those that have enjoyed this podcast, we appreciate you taking your time to listen to this episode. Please subscribe and leave a review on the platform that you're listening to this episode on. You can also follow us on social media at City of Lexington for updates on future episodes. For more information on the City of Lexington, please visit www.lexingtonnc.gov. We'll see you on the next episode of Queuing It Up.